Having looked at them, I've seen that some of them will allow you to take other courses for your general education or have lessened your requirements for general education. I'm taking a lot of AP classes, and I'm wondering if I can benefit from those in a conservatory environment at all.
At a university like Chapman, yes. And in certain situations in the summers, what I would say is if you can get rid of some of your general education requirements in the summer, for instance, at a community college or something like that, for heaven's sakes, do it. Because, frankly, it's going to be less expensive for you in the long run. So, yes, at a situation like ours, yes, the answer is yes.
I think some of that information can be found on school websites, too, if you have a specific school, because some of the answer, for instance, music theory, you can take an AP music theory course, but pretty much every school I know is going to test you on music theory. So it doesn't matter what score you got in AP, you're not going to automatically get placement. You're going to have their tests, and they'll place you. That's what we do. That's what a number of schools do. So I would suggest you look on websites once you've narrowed down a few of your schools.
Is that me? Hello? This question is for Ms. Tezar. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Is the Colburn School, is there any discussion, or at least that you can make public, is there any thoughts about going in other musical areas, particularly in vocal arts?
No, but I have a colleague who keeps trying to sell me his voice program. Truly, we are not at that point. So for the near future, I have to say no, we have no plans.
Yeah, you know, one of the speakers tonight made a comment about basically networking and having gone to college and graduate school out east and ended up living out west. The alumni network for my schools out east aren't as strong as they would be had I gone to schools out west if I knew I was going to live out west. So my question to you guys is, very simply, depending where the student thinks they're going to ultimately live, and you know, sometimes you know and sometimes you don't, how important is the alumni networks throughout your different schools? You know, in other words, I went to Harvard for my MBA. I would have gone to Stanford if I knew I was going to live out west because of the alumni network living on the West Coast. So just a little different, and just like to hear your guys' impacts. And SC, you know, I know a lot of people that did graduate work at SC went back, you know, basically as adults because they wanted the networking for the alumni, basically the connections to the alumni. So if you guys could talk a little bit about alumni and how important that is, basically future going out and working and whatnot.
Music's a little different in one way, is that the network is very, very important. And for example, the Thornton School, we have chapters, Thornton music alums all over the world, literally. And one of the perks of my job is I get to go visit them all. And so, but that being said, if you were a musician who wanted to do film scoring, play in the studios here and things, you're definitely better off being right here with that network. But I'd say as important, if not more important, in music, and I think this is fairly unique to the arts in general, is as important as the network, or more important than the network, are the connections that the teacher, the private teacher, has in a certain community. Because our harmonica teacher, you know, knows everybody and will get that person auditions or help them with auditions, all those kinds of things. So it's really the network that the teachers are in, sometimes more important in music than the network of the alumni.
I absolutely agree.
I'm a junior and I did get a late start. What should I be doing to make myself more available for colleges to be looked at, to be accepted?
I think the start is, you say you have a late start, so my next question would be, what is it you want to do? And then where can you do that? And then because you've had a late start, I don't know what that means, but that part of the answer to that is where are you going? For instance, if you say you had a late start and you're applying to Colburn and you can't even play half of the repertoire on the required audition list, then this is not a good choice for you. But if you say late start and you mean you can play the stuff on the audition list but you don't have a very large repertoire, then that's not going to matter so much because you have the repertoire. So depending on what late start means to you, think about what it is you want to do, and then start asking yourself and others the question of what kind of school will give me that, because some schools are, I would almost say, more generous than Colburn. Like we're so narrowly focused, but there are lots of schools that will say, we'll take you. We want you here. We want to be the school to develop you from where you're at now. There are a lot of schools like that. So it's a question of doing the research and finding that place or several places to which you can apply.
I'd go and visit the school. Make some phone calls. Have your teacher make some phone calls. Take a lesson with a prospective teacher, and really get to know the program, because you can only learn so much online. Really, I mean, everywhere I attended, I think I most valued my time on campus in the process, watching rehearsals, watching lessons, and taking lessons.